Okay, so salary arbitration hearings were yesterday. Here you can see what the decision was for what our guys are going to get paid this year. Looks like we won all these arbitration cases based on my memory of what we offered guys. Another garbage trade proposal right here. So free agents are going to be filing tomorrow, so we are going to look at that. See, international free agents enter the market. I really like to sign guys out of the international free agent pool. They're pretty helpful with the fact that you don't have to offer compensation for them. Nothing too great. It's looking like here. Two good relievers that could maybe be starters. Great shortstop right there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to offer this 23-year-old first baseman a contract. Or it looks like this guy actually already plays for the Padres somehow. Don't know how that works out. Your Jorge Castro, he is listed as reliever right now, but he definitely looks like he is a starter. However, he is not interested in playing for our manager. This guy here, he's looking like he could be someone we target. Although this guy is most definitely a reliever. Although his personality isn't fantastic. Looks like this shortstop is a stud. Although he is pretty fragile, so that's kind of scary. So I think we're going to pass on him since he is fragile. Plus, it'd be pretty unrealistic for a team that really struggled to sign a guy like that. Looks like this shortstop, he's interested in a minor league contract. So we're going to go ahead and offer him. And then we're going to go back in and then offer that other pitcher, this reliever here, that we can get on pretty cheap. We're going to lower that down to 4.4 and then see if we can get this down to 3.4. Maybe make this a vesting option in like 50 innings. See if he wants this. Okay, so that sounds reasonable to him. Okay, so I forgot to mention this earlier, but Hanley Ramirez, who was a guy who we obviously signed, we decided to avoid his option year, of course, because he's supposed to be offered $22 million for this season, but we obviously did not want to pay him that, so we voided his option. I forgot to show that move previously. But looking here at other big free agents here, we're obviously not going to be looking to make a big splash, most likely with any of these big guys that are available, although I don't think we'd be able to afford them anyway. Although here looks like we would be able to afford Harper. So let's look at our team here real quick to see maybe what we would like to sign. We obviously have needs in the infield, specifically at shortstop. So we could definitely look to fill a need there. But with the amount of young guys that we have, I'm not really too keen on signing anybody to make a big impact positional-wise. So I think we may be good just with that shortstop that we signed earlier. Our main focus here is obviously going to be looking to kind of solidify our pitching, since we really struggled in that department last year, and we're really going to need some guys who can fill in the meanwhile while we build up our pitching depth. Just scrolling through here, it looks like Nathan Eovaldi is available for pretty cheap. Although he is unfortunately not interested in playing for our manager, so that's unfortunate. It looked like he could have been a decent guy for us. So continuing to look through here, nothing really particularly piquing my interest. J.A. Happ here looks like he might be something interesting. I find that signing starters in this game is, in general, pretty difficult because they all want, seems like, a ton of money, even though I do not think they are worth that. Look at how Brendan McCarthy performed last year. FIP in the mid-4s, which is, of course, better than pretty much anyone that we had on our team last year. He was looking for a 4-year deal. I might be interested on more of like a 2-year deal thing. Maybe we can try to do that. Maybe a 2-year deal with this vesting option. Decent offer to him. Zach Petrick looks like a guy that we can get at a reasonable price here. Take a look at his expanded pitching stats. Decent. He looks like he has good control. I think we're just gonna go ahead and give a flyer on this guy. Ooh, Garrett Richards here. Looks like he missed a good amount of time last season, which may be that we can get him for cheap this season. I would definitely be open to that. Looks like he wants $3.5 million here. And we're basically doing what the real Orioles did, just kind of finding some veteran guys and plugging them right here. But yeah, the fact that we're not really looking for anyone in particular to boost our team, so to speak. It's like Austin Adams. It's like we'll take a flyer on Adams, even though his control is awful. See, we have about $9 million left for free agents. I think we're gonna try to do here is sign a few guys to build up our bullpen that we could maybe get some value out of later in the season. Looks like Daniel Hudson had a fantastic year. Yeah, he had a really good year last year in LA, it looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna offer him a deal. He wants 5.5 over 4. Let's see if we can turn that into 5 and 3, or excuse me, yeah, 5.5 on 3 with a deal for an option in the last year, maybe a buyout of $500,000. Maybe we change to a vesting option with like 40 innings pitched. I think that's a decent offer. We have $3 million more for free agents here. See if there are any half decent catchers out there that we might want to bring in. This guy, his defensive ratings are no better than Caterini, so there's no real reason to bring him in. Doesn't really look like there's anything out there in particular that will help us out at all. Yeah, no good catchers that I want to spend any money on. Then we're going to look for a few infielders, maybe a backup outfielder. Like Zach Duke had a good year. Last year only once a little over $1 million. His ERA was good, but his FIP was not very good. Strikeouts look alright, over 10. That's interesting. Looks like Sam Dyson also had a good year last year based off of ERA. Looking at FIP, did not have a good year in FIP, and his strikeouts there looked kind of concerning with how low they were. Kelvin Herrera, he had a bad year last year according to his ERA. His FIP was also bad. But with him being a former All-Star and his pitches still being good, I think Herrera is who we take a flyer on here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sim until we... Well, this guy has to come off the DL here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and sim until we hear back from our free agents, so I will join up with you guys when we start hearing back from them. Okay, so nobody has signed with us yet, although today we do have the Rule 5 draft, so we're going to go ahead and do the Rule 5 draft. First, we have to make sure none of our guys are eligible for the Rule 5 draft that we want to keep. So our AAA team is Norfolk, so we will be looking for that here. I'll pass it. Cedric Mullins, he's a 2-star player. Looks like he can, although I don't, Oscar De La Cruz, we definitely don't want to be losing him. So we're going to go ahead and add him to the 40-man. And it wouldn't hurt to add Cedric Mullins either to the 40-man. And go to AA Bowie here real quick. AA Bowie, Austin Adams. Oh, he did sign on. But he was just a minor league free agent. Petrick did too, believe, but we're going to go ahead and get into the Rule 5 draft here. We are picking 6th. So let's get into it here. See, not too many guys here that look fantastic. Sandy Alcantara, not that great of control. Just looking here. Okay, that was with the OSA ratings that we were looking at before. So we're here with our head scout. Isan Diaz looks like a decent infielder, 22. Daniel Brito, no, he's too far away to take him from being a major league ready. Luis Arias, I like the look of his ratings here with a high contact, decent avoid K's rating. Second baseman there. Ooh. Looks like this third baseman is interesting, although his avoid K's rating is not very good. Don't think we'll be bringing him in there. Not really too many guys that are particularly interesting here. Mike Ford, he could be an interesting guy to bring in. This starter looks like he could be interesting. Mirandy Gonzalez. I think we're going to go ahead here and pick Mike Ford. Good track record in the minors. Don't know if we exactly have a spot for him, but we'll bring him in to at least be a guy off the bench for us. I think I'm gonna go after one of those pitchers that we saw earlier. Might as well, with how poor our pitching has been. This guy looks decent. 25 though. Gonzalez. This one has been a AAA. I think if we go with anybody, it might be him. Well, this guy looks like he could be decent. Played in AA previously. Didn't have the greatest year this year, but decent track record with this guy right here. Oh, his stuff isn't very good. Darian Gonzalez. Look at this guy's track record. Pretty decent. Looks like in major leagues. I mean the minor leagues, excuse me. Performed good I should say, in AA this year. I think we'll give this guy a shot. Third round here. See if our head scout says anything. Suggest Eliezer Alvarez. Don't really think he's anything too special here. De Los Santos. This guy looks interesting. Not great movement or stuff, but decent control. Pretty good in AA last year, looks like. Wasn't good in AA this year, but was really good in AAA for some reason this year. I only started one game in AAA though this year. I think we'll just we'll get this guy here and then that'll be it for what we do in the Rule 5 draft. So now that the Rule 5 draft is finished, I am just going to sim forward and let you guys know on what the deal is with the guys that we have offered contracts to. So I will see you guys when we get there. Alright, so I was just notified that a bunch of the guys that we had offered deals to decided to accept. Hap, Herrera, Hudson, Zhao, and however you pronounce this guy's name, Buckeye will call him because that's his nickname. They all have signed on, so we're going to go ahead and add these guys to the Major League roster. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add Zhao to Baltimore because we only signed him to a minor league deal. Going to send Hudson to the big league team. Herrera. It looks like our 40 man is full. So we are going to have to DFA some guys. And we'll just DFA Darren O'Day because he's making big money and we're not going to be able to do anything anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and DFA him. We'll DFA Mike Wright also so we have room for Hap. That should leave enough room for Hap on the 40 man. Okay, perfect. So this is just what our lineup looks like right now. Don't know if that'll stay like that. And then here's what our pitching rotation looks like for the moment. Got a message here. Mike Wright's been claimed, but we don't really care. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep simming. scouring the waiver wire. Yeah, Mike Wright's been claimed by the Royals, which is whatever because he was absolutely awful for us last year. San Diego wants Alizé, but for Renfroe, we're not going to do that deal. Definitely not. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep simming along, and I'll get back to you guys when something of note happens. Garrett Ridges right here. Looks like the A's are leading the charge for him. He's up to about $4.5 million. I think we're just gonna let Richards walk. Not too interested in bringing him in for that much money. We still have McCarthy that we're offering anyway, so we really have no need to do anything with that. Okay, for some reason Herrera wasn't added to the 40-man. So we're just going to look at the worst guys that we have here. I suppose we'll leave Suzak on the 40-man. I think pitching here is what we're going to want to take guys off the 40-man for. Although I don't know. Well, maybe I think we DFA Castro right here since he was so awful for us last year. And then we'll add Herrera to the 40-man. We still need to demote O'Day. He doesn't want to be demoted. We can't trade him, so we're just going to dump him. No use for him. O's legend Darren O'Day. No longer. Just a quick glance at what our pitching is looking like here. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. So now I will actually get back to you guys when something else of note happens.